Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hi everybody.
Hello everybody.
My name is David Bell.
I'm Tom Ryman.
And we just watched Eega.
Eega.
मक्खी 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 पिसी मक्खी तुम्हें इतना पागल कर रही है क्या पीती मक्खी
Eega. Not like
the
Eega. Yeah, not the Mr.
Science Theater one.
Eega.
No, this is Eega as in the I think it's Indian. It's an Indian film. Word for fly.
It's a multi-language film. That's why there's two different titles.
I gotcha.
Yeah, okay. So right at the top, this isn't a recent movie because we have a certain patron tier where people can tell us to watch a movie and do an episode.
Force us to watch a movie.
Yeah, and do an episode we just watched about it. Today is one such episode. We're going to have several more special episodes like this coming up. This is brought to you. Yeah, this is brought to you by special Patreon subscriber Andrew McGuire, who let me use his name. I asked him.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I mean, I'm going to try to ask and remember to ask beforehand.
Before I just toss people's names out there like I don't even care.
Right, exactly. Also, I just so I don't remember their names necessarily unless I write it down to make a special note, or I don't remember to do it more like it. That's not the point of this. The point of this is that there's a movie called Eega that's currently on Amazon Prime for free if you want to watch it. And that's what me and Tom just watched.
If you have Amazon Prime and 2.5 hours.
Yes. 2.5 hours. And I guess I got to ask you, Tom, before we continue, how'd you like Eega?
It's sort of impossible to put into words how I feel about Eega.
All right. Did we explain what this movie is about?
No, we didn't.
Okay. So a lot of you probably are like, I'm not going to fucking watch this movie. Okay, my first thing I want to say is probably go watch this movie.
You should probably watch it. It would be better if you got a bunch of people together and watched this movie.
This is a 2.5 hour movie about a man who meets a girl, and their romantic rival kills him, and he reincarnates as a fly, and as a fly proceeds to try to kill the man who killed him, seek revenge.
Yes.
So, for most of the movie, the protagonist is a fly, and not like a super fly.
Just a regular fly.
Just a regular fly who's very creative about how he goes about killing this man.
And when we say most of the movie, we mean 2 hours of this movie.
2 hours of the movie.
Following a protagonist that is a fly who does not speak.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I think I loved this movie.
It is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is too long.
It's too long.
But if I could choose any movie to watch too much of, it's watching a fly repeatedly try to kill a man.
Repeatedly try to Rube Goldberg some guy to death. It is.
Yeah.
It's everything you want it to be.
Yes, it is everything you want it to be and more. Because, okay, just skipping around. Already skipping around.
There is a training montage wherein the fly lifts weights.
Yes. That happens in this movie. That's the thing, is every time I thought, okay, I get it. This is as much as I'm going to get out of this and I love it. It would give me a little more.
Right, like, it throws another curveball at you.
Yeah, when he first reincarnates. So I guess we should start from the beginning. The guy's kind of like, he's kind of a jackass, the main character. Like, it's kind of like an Adam Sandler love story where he's kind of annoying to her, but she's digging it. So good for them. And he gets fucking strangled on the beach to death by the villain who is a maniac.
Yes.
because he donates to this woman's charity and sees this romantic rival who she's kind of flirty with. He's just met both of these people. Mm-hmm. But that's enough for him to kidnap this man and strangle him on the fucking beach with his foot.
He crushes his neck with his foot.
Yeah.
He just suffocates him.
This guy is over the top evil, and he ends up being one of the more comedic roles. I'm gonna say at the top of this, if I don't think you need to remake this.
No.
But if you did, you cast Nicolas Cage in that role.
Yes.
That would be an amazing. This is kind of a Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah, and this guy is sort of Bollywood's Nicolas Cage. Like he cages it up in this
he
film.
does. He's over the fucking top.
Incredible. This villain is amazing.
Yeah. He's great. He's the best. He's my favorite part of the movie.
Oh,
I
of
think.
course, he's my favorite character.
Yeah. He's terrific. So he resurrects as a fly, and I remember thinking like, oh, okay, this is cool, because they do kind of a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids moment where he's like in a playground and he's trying to get away from children and he's trapped in a bubble, and they do the thing where it's like, okay, he's too small. He's smaller than normal. This is overwhelming. And it's like, that's cool. And then you get the part where it's like, okay, now he sees his killer, and now it's kind of like Ghost. Like, it's like Ghost, but he's a fly.
Yeah, I had that thought several times. The basic story beats are very similar to Ghost.
Yeah. But one thing happened sooner than I thought, because I thought then at that point, like, okay, this is going to be a whole movie of him trying to convince this woman that he's the resurrected guy. No, he immediately...
That happens at about the 1 hour mark.
Yes. And the thing I liked about it is that I'm glad they did that, because I would have spent the whole movie screaming like, just use your little fly body to write something. And that's what he does almost immediately.
Does.
Yeah, he writes in her tears that it's him. And like, that moment is great, because that woman if I were that woman, I'd be like, oh, I've snapped.
Right, I am having and this fly. Like, he then proceeds to tell her that she needs to help him murder this guy.
Right. And this is an important detail we didn't mention yet. Is the movie opens when it opens, her hobby or like her art is she makes like micro art.
She's a micro artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so they slid it in so kind of matter of factly that I didn't figure it out.
I didn't either. She becomes...
Until she literally makes him the goggles.
Yes. She becomes his
cue. A little fly gas mask. Yeah,
she's his cue. Basically, it becomes a romantic story.
House for him.
Yeah. It's a romantic story. It's the side story. It's a romance between her and a fly. I don't know how they're going to fuck.
Well...
I don't okay. But, like, I don't know. She keeps saying, like, when you're a human...
You can fully insert that fly.
Yeah. But would you want to? I guess, I don't know. It's more, I guess it's I feel like I'm dirtying the relationship, because it's a very pure love between them. Mm-hmm. They've just met.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they sort of like have little lovers flirtations and games and like hang out, but he's a fly.
He's a fly.
And he like gives little fly hand signals and stuff at her a lot.
He's a very animated fly.
Yes. He's literally an animated fly. Like, the CGI in this wasn't the worst. It was fine. It was enough for me to accept it. But it's not like...
It's not good.
Top notch, yeah.
No. It's like...
it's better than I thought it was going to be.
It's like the CGI you'd see on like a cable television show. It's not... It's perfectly passable. It's not good, but it's not. It's also not so bad that it's like distracting.
Right. It also reminded me how far CGI has gone, where bad CGI is still like decent now.
Well,
like
this movie
it's
not that old. This 2012 was when this movie was made.
That's what I mean. No, that's what I mean is that this is bad CGI for now, and that this would have been amazing in like the early 2000s, I feel like. Yeah, does that make sense? Like, I feel like we've gotten so good with CGI that this movie that is clearly made by a company that couldn't afford like top-notch CGI, it's still like passable.
It's still it's perfectly fine for what it is.
Yeah, I mean it's like Scooby-Doo CGI where it feels like he's a cartoon.
Yeah, it's not photorealistic.
No.
But anyway.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the fly causes a car accident at one point. He does all sorts of...
Oh, my God.
I mean, he does all sorts of...
He makes this guy wreck by flying, literally scraping his cornea with his little fly legs.
Yes.
The guy flips his car. It gets in a head-on collision with a truck that spills sandbags all over them. And then the fly writes, "I will kill you" on the windshield in the sand.
In the sand, which is, again, like, what a life moment that would be. And this is already since he's starting to suspect. So, all right, basically the next 2 hours of the movie, after he's, or like hour and a half, the next hour, like once she gives him his little goggles, I mean, it kind of happens before too, but the rest of the movie is basically a series of comedic bits where this fly ruins the guy's life. I wasn't sure there was going to be any like third act. Like, for a while, it was just like, okay, we're just repeatedly watching things where this fly tortures him.
Right. This fly is fucking his life up. Like, it is very funny.
Like, driving him insane.
Right, from the ground up. Like, I could see a completely different movie or, like, episode of The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Where it's, like, entirely from the villain's point of view, and he's just convinced this fly is trying to kill him.
Right. And you could still do the same idea of, like, it's a manifestation of, like, his guilt or something. Like, it's not literal. Or you could do a movie from, the protagonist is just trying to fight a fly.
Yes.
And he does everything you would do if you were, I don't know why he can't kill a fly. Like, he just can't swat it, but the fly has human intelligence, so.
Right, yeah. I think that's part of it.
Yeah, but, like, he does
it would be kind of difficult to kill this fly if it thought like a person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he hires people to kill as many flies as possible.
They're bringing him in flies, and he's like examining them. He's like, no, this isn't the one.
He makes his house like airtight and creates like an airlock and like heat cameras to try to catch the fly. Like he does everything he can, and it's delightful. And the pranks,
it's glorious.
Yeah, the fly's doing stuff like when he'll try, like, if he falls asleep with a lit cigarette nearby, the fly pushes the cigarette onto the mattress.
To burn his house down. Yeah, with a cigarette.
Yeah, he keeps flying in his ear to fuck him up. He embarrasses him. The guy's got like a big crime business deal, and like he embarrasses. That's what's so funny about this is that like he begins the movie as like a kind of a scary dude. And they set something up really, really good at the beginning, which is that he's shooting at the clay pigeons, and he's like really good at it, and he's like a real badass.
And he has like an impressive gun collection.
Yes. And then when he chokes him, he like takes off his shoes because he's like, I want to feel like the life come out of you.
I want to feel your life leave you. Yeah.
Yeah, which again was really scary and cool villain stuff at the time, and then comes into play later.
Yes.
They wrote the shit out of this movie.
They really did, more than they needed to. There's like
they needed to.
There's like a subtle hint that he murdered his wife.
Yeah, which is done. Yeah, it's well done.
Yeah.
This
movie's nuts.
Yeah, but I guess what I was getting to is they establish him in a way where I'm like, this guy's scary, and then they completely diffuse that when it becomes a series of comedic, like something that would like Home Alone bits, like really like kids movie bits of a guy getting hurt, you know, where it's like he's in a sauna. Kind of. They're kind of brutal, but like
right. Yeah, they make it sinister enough where it's like when he's trapped in the sauna or when like. But he's getting
silly,
shaved,
I guess is what I mean.
Right, like, he is silly. Yeah, he becomes more and more unhinged, and then it finally boils down to he has this very important board meeting with all these investors, and he behaves like a fucking maniac.
Yeah, and before
because
that,
the fly's in there.
Yeah, before that in the sauna, he has one of those body saunas, so his head's out, and the fly is fucking with him, and manages to get him to push the sauna towards like spiky towel racks.
Yeah,
and
he almost kills him right there.
And then he chases him out with his towel, and then he's like in his own office, so he's just running naked with the towel, and everybody can see. And it's like it ramps up to this weird silliness, but so like that was the next like tier. Where I was like, okay, I get it. It's not going to get crazier than this. And then a shaman shows up.
Right. And then an evil wizard shows up.
Yes.
who then possesses 2 birds to chase the fly.
Something I did not anticipate.
Oh my gosh.
I did not think 2 demon-possessed birds with hawk sounds would be chasing the fly around a room. But it happens.
It does.
And it's great.
Yeah, he tricks one into getting stuck in a telescope. And then he electrocutes the other one as he gets him to fly balls out towards an electrical outlet and then swerves out of the way at the last minute. And when the bird lands in the electrical outlet, it sets the room on fire, and like the bad guy's trapped inside, and this almost kills him. Like his partner shows up at the last minute. Yeah. Because the shaman falls on like a piece of glass and is impaled.
Shaman is impaled by the fly.
This fly is fucking things up.
Fly has a body count of 2.
She makes tiny little micro Wolverine claws for him, and there's a sequence where he flies into the bad guy's shirt and is just ripping into his back, and he's completely covered in blood.
That was horrifying. Yeah,
she has to wash all the blood off him later.
And they have a slow-mo shot of him, like, victorious with the blood getting washed off of him. There's a lot of shots with the fly with, like, blood on him being, like, all badass. The fly is fucking badass. He should have
get shit done.
He should have burrowed deep. Like, if he had burrowed, like, near his, like, heart or brain, he probably could have taken him out that way.
Yeah, just fly right into his ear and just dig into his brain. What are you wasting time for?
Yeah, exactly. If you got little Wolverine claws. But I mean, whatever. It's almost like he wants to torture him first before actually killing him, or he thinks he's just going to get him to kill himself with madness, you know? Which I thought was a possibility as well.
Yeah, it could have gone either way, because there's a couple of moments like where he almost he causes the car accident. He almost gets him to fall off a construction site.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like in that scene, he almost just kills himself because the room just catches on fire.
Right. All because of a little fucking CGI fly.
Fucking fly.
Who's just in love. He's in love.
Yeah, he's just a little fly who's just in love with this lady.
Yep.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned that there's songs in this.
Oh, of course there are.
Yeah. There's singing in this. And like, yeah, it's like what did I expect? But it's surprising when it happens. And it was just
right.
There's
there's one just full on musical number that's sung by the character Nani like right before he is killed and becomes a fly.
And then there's not many after that. Like
there's a lot of songs though. There's like
there's a lot of original songs.
And they're all about the events of the film.
Yes. And they're fantastic.
Like when he hatches, the song is like, he's alive.
Yeah. Well, that's what's interesting is there's the use of English in this. And that's one of the parts where he says he's alive or he's back in English over and over again. And that was one of those things that struck me as like, I bet that sounds cooler if you don't know what he's saying in English.
Yeah.
Like, since it's not made for English audiences, but it was just silly.
No, but
when
like
sung in English.
It's like 20 to 30% of this film is in English.
Right, there's some English in it.
Every character will randomly just speak English for a minute.
Yeah, I thought it was. At first, I was like, did it switch to being dubbed or something? What happened? Because it's subtitled. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works. There's a lot of stuff with like with Bollywood and this like culture of filmmaking that I'm like, I'm not sure. I mean, it didn't really distract me from the movie. The movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He has.
I love the theme song for the villain. It's just like this.
I'm screaming.
Yeah, it's a dramatic song and just a guy screaming.
It's just like and it's perfect. There's a lot of musical cues. There's like when they do the comedic musical cues, they do these little like moments in the soundtrack. Those like they kind of bugged me because I felt like it was like because there were some jokes I liked in this. Because it's a very jokey movie at times, and some of it's like a little too over the top. Like his dumb friends are like kind of cartoonish.
A little, yeah. We don't see that much of them though.
No, we don't. But what was I getting to? But yeah, they do that also for like the evil stuff, and that I loved that because it was like they would do it for basically any emotion.
Yes,
they would really emphasize it with like this really extreme music, and it was fucking great.
Yeah.
Because, it made me understand the bad guy more when his internal music was just screaming.
It's just a man screaming.
Yeah, he is a crazy person.
Oh, my God, this movie.
Yeah. Getting to
There's so much to say.
There's so much to say. I want to talk about... should we talk about the final battle?
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's the payoff is he figures out that the woman is helping the fly.
Yes, and that the fly is Nani. He figures out who the fly is.
Thanks to the shaman.
Mm-hmm. The shaman tells him, yes.
And I knew this had to have happened because the only low point that we can have happen is she gets kidnapped. I also love that whole time, because here's the other thing is he comes to her, the fly, and is like, okay, I'm Nani. I've been murdered by this guy. I want to kill him. And she's just like, yes, let's fucking kill him.
We're killing this guy.
Yeah,
like,
and she's just
hesitate.
No
hesitation.
Not. She doesn't question like, am I having a nervous breakdown? She's like, no, I'm going to kill this man. And I thought like, why doesn't she just get a gun? But that for the most part, that's not her. She's just trying to be supportive too. Like, I don't think she has like enough invested to like go to jail for murder, obviously. And she knows right away the perfect crime is having a fly do it.
Right, let the fly do it.
Yeah, it's perfect. But yeah, he kidnaps her, and I like that she at least tries. She grabs a knife or a box cutter and like goes for his neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so the final thing is him taking her hostage and being like, "Where are you, fly? Come out!"
Yeah,
or I'll kill her.
It's very much the end of Ghost.
Yes. Yeah, it really is. But that's where we get the payoff.
Oh, man. Yeah, he destroys his whole house. Mm-hmm. He puts on these awesome shooting goggles that have, heat sensors plus a magnifying glass.
Yeah. Well, there's two payoffs. First, the fly gets under his foot because he wants her to let him go.
Get under my
and he
foot.
Says,
and he's
take off my shoe.
Yeah.
I want to feel you, whatever. I want to feel the life.
Feel me squish you, yeah.
Yeah. And he picks up a pin and he steps on the pin.
It's a sewing needle. It goes all the way through his foot.
He fucks him right up.
Right up.
Yeah, and then we get the clay pigeons thing where he takes out his guns, and it's like if anybody can shoot a fly, it's this guy.
Right, and he's got these, like I said, these fucking future goggles that he's using. So it's like he's really getting close to shooting this fly out of the air.
Yeah.
But of course he blasts his entire house apart.
Yes. I just want to stop and appreciate that the people listening to this are probably really wondering what the fuck kind of film this is at this point. I mean, they know what kind of film this is.
It's so amazing.
Yeah, if you haven't stopped this podcast to go watch this, you probably should at this point, right?
Get a bunch of people together, sit down and watch Eega. Seriously. This movie is insane.
Because we're about to tell you about this thrilling conclusion.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, we didn't talk about, they set it up earlier, the cannon.
Right, the bad guy has a tiny cannon in his living room, and one of the fly's early plans is to fill it full gunpowder or magnesium or something, and then put an actual pellet in there
with a little
so that
basket.
He can. Yep, with a series of tiny baskets. He's filling it up with gunpowder.
Yeah, and just flies down the street and keeps filling it up.
Mm-hmm. So the idea was he was going to shoot him essentially with a marble right in the face with this cannon. But one of the guy's stooges stuffs some paper in there or something because he doesn't want to get caught eating or something, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, they set up that cannon earlier. So that cannon's full of gunpowder and a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
So he oh gosh, how does he?
Well, he's shooting up his house, and the cannon falls or something.
Yeah, the cannon falls over. He also shoots open the back wall, which reveals several canisters of I don't know, propane, some kind of gas.
Yeah, you don't really need to know. You know it's gas, and he's got a rich guy house.
Yeah.
So it's that could be for anything. I mean, I'm sure they thought it out when they wrote it and filmed it. I'm sure that was a very specific thing. I didn't need to care.
Yeah, I didn't. It was just fully understand what it was. Yeah. It's okay, there's gas tanks there. Got it. He somehow, how does he cut the fly's wing off? He does it with a piece of glass, but
because the chandelier falls. Okay.
Yes.
And it smashes, and the fly flies with the glass as it shreds his face, and the fly is reflected everywhere.
Yep.
Because this is a great movie.
Because it's the greatest film ever. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember how he tricks because he gets the fly to come to him.
She says something. The fly communicates with her with his little fly legs, and he makes a little kaboom thing, and she says something implying fire.
Oh no! That's art after he's already had his wing cut off and his foot stabbed.
Yeah. He
with
takes the glass. He takes the glass out of his face.
Oh right, I remember now. He finds where she was hiding and forces him to come out again. That's how.
Right.
Like I was trying to remember how he got the fly to hold still for him to cut his wing off.
Right.
So yeah, he's all shades of fucked up now. He's been stabbed in his little fly leg.
And then he takes a pin and he's starting to try to pin the fly down.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He actually stabs him through the body too.
Yeah,
yes.
Using her hand, which was pretty dark. And then he stabs the fly through the body. And so it's like the fly's all fucked up. He's missing a wing. He's been stabbed. And then he communicates to the lady, whose name I forget, but
oh crap!
I forget most character names.
They say it. They say it 100 times.
Yes.
It's one of the songs that he keeps singing every time he sees her. It's like, Bindu, please see me.
Right. Oh God!
He communicates there's going to be an explosion.
Yeah, and then she kind of eggs him to get a match.
Yeah,
and he lights the match.
Yeah, because he asks her, "Oh, you're communicating. Oh, well, what's he saying?" She says, "He said he swears he's going to kill you before he dies. Like he's going to burn you down to ashes." And he's like, "Burn me down to ashes? How about I burn him? Give me some matches." And
while he's getting the matches, or somewhere during this, he rolls in the gunpowder. The fly.
Yeah, he's rolling in the gunpowder.
And he takes out the match and points it at and lights it and points at the fly, and the fly jumps through the match.
Yeah, it's a real hero shot.
Yeah, and he flies as far as he can while on fire as his little fly body burns, and lands in the cannon, which sends a bullet through him. The bullet and the fly shoots through him, the villain, and then hits the gas. And the villain's already like critically injured, and then the gas explodes, creating a flame that is shaped like a fly.
Shaped like a fly that then consumes him entirely.
Yep.
The house fucking explodes.
Yep. And it's kind of sad, but guess what happens?
He comes back.
He comes back. He resurrects as another fly.
As another fly, and carves "I'm back" into the camera lens.
Yep.
And then strikes a pose. And then the movie sort of ends.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad we didn't get to this yet, even though it should have been the first thing. So here's the craziest part of this movie. It's framed as a bedtime story.
Right, by a father and son that we never actually see.
I think it's a daughter, but I guess it doesn't matter. It's little kids. They all are squeaky.
It's a father and kid that we
Princess
never
Bride
see.
situation. Yes. And so it begins with a little kid like, "Dad, tell me a story," over the credits, and he starts telling one. She's like, "I've heard that before," and he's like, "Okay, well, what about a story about a fly?" And like,
he frames it so strangely. He says it's a story about a bad boy and a fly. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And
that's not what this story's about.
The movie should have ended with the girl crying and the mother like, "What the fuck did you say to her?
Fucking story did you tell her?
Did that man get shot at the end?"
Oh yeah, there's a lot of violence in this bedtime story.
Bedtime story. It's the most nonsense framing device. The reveal is that the man telling the story is like his friend. There's like the post credits story, right?
No, I don't know that that's ever confirmed. Like the post credit story show, because she's like, "Well, I want to know what happened to the thief," because there's this throwaway gag in the middle of the film.
You're right.
I just thought it was implied
that was like someone. Yeah.
If they did, I didn't catch that. But the thief randomly breaks into Bindu's apartment to try to rob her, and she walks in, and he gets scared and hides. And she starts talking to the fly, but the thief thinks she's talking to him, and it like convinces him to turn his life around. So we get another post.
Right.
There are 3 post-credit sequences. One is the end of the framing device, but that happens second. The first thing that actually happens is an extended dance number with a bunch of flies.
Oh, right. The dance number is amazing.
Yeah, they're dancing in front of a smartphone.
Yeah, it's fucking...
It's like their nightclub because they're flies.
It's great.
Then we get the framing device where the dad's like, wasn't that a great story? And she's like, well, what happened to the thief? And then we get a third thing that follows the thief who like cleaned his life up.
See, I figured that was the dad because it was like, what happened to the thief? And like, why would they tell us that story if it wasn't like, why does this dad know the story? Also, I wish the little girl was like, he was like, that's the story. And the little girl's like, why did you describe a fly dance at the end there in a nightclub? Like, I want it all to be part of it.
I thought it would be fun. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't like that?
But yeah, and then it's the thief, turning his life around, right?
Yeah, and then we see her go to the temple to marry the fly.
Right. She marries a fly.
She does. But the priest okays it because, again, they do the bit again where he thinks she's talking about the thief who is also there.
Yeah, exactly. It's a wacky misunderstanding.
It's a real farce.
See, that's the only part that I was like, I didn't hate that, but like I didn't need it. I didn't need the side comedy of the thief. But I mean, I'm not going to kick it out. Like I'm good with it. Good with all of this.
Yeah, no, I want it to stay.
Yeah. That's their vision.
Oh, this incredible film.
God, she marries a fly, and like if that fly dies, he'll probably just resurrect again as another fly.
He'll come back as another fucking fly. He's immortal.
I mean, is the idea because he comes back as a slightly better fly, and I don't know. I should probably know more about the belief in reincarnation, but I feel like one of the implications of it is if you didn't lead a great life, you like die and come back as like a fly or a lesser creature, and you have to like earn yourself back. Mm-hmm. So like the character at the beginning, he's not an evil man, but he's kind of irritating. Like again, she likes him.
It's not clear at first, but he's essentially stalking her.
Yeah, but that could be said about a lot of romantic comedies.
That's true. And then we find out that like they've known each other for like 2 years, and she's been playing hard to get, and when she finally is like, okay, I'm going to stop teasing you. I really do like you. Let's go out. And then he gets murdered, of course, immediately.
Yeah, I just realized this movie has a deeper meaning, because also it begins with him. The idea is he keeps donating like a little bit to her charity, like anything he can do. Mm-hmm. Like it's not much, but it's all he can do, and he just wants to impress her. And the villain comes in and donates a big amount, and is evil, and then he becomes a fly and has to defeat the villain, who is a big man. Like it's the little guy versus the big guy. That's the whole goddamn through line.
His job is like he makes fireworks, and like he doesn't, like we see him not charge the priest at the temple for them, and like he also doesn't, like he doesn't charge people for his work. He's like, no, I just want your place to look good.
Right, which explains the gunpowder stuff later.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, I also like I felt for the little fly. Like especially at the beginning, they make the world big and scary, and he keeps getting trapped in things. He's like upside down. His little feetsies are squirming. They did a good job making me like really sympathize with the little fly. I liked the fly better than I liked his human form. Like his human form, I was like, this guy's kind of a D-bag.
It's a little irritating.
Doesn't deserve to be murdered, but
no.
But again, he reincarnates and like finds like he has to deal with this like humility, this like, weird existence as a fly, and it doesn't come right away. At first, he's like confused.
Yeah, he doesn't quite know what's going on.
Yeah. The first thing he gets hatched in like a little, and it looks like a giant cavern, and then you realize, of course, like he's in like the grass of a park.
Yes, he's like in a foot. He's like in a little guy. Yeah. And his wing is stuck to his little body, so he almost doesn't get away.
Yeah. He's a poor little fly.
A lot of trials and tribulations for this little fly.
That's the thing. This is an underdog story at its finest,
just like amplified to the 9,000th degree because it's a fucking fly.
It's a fly trying to kill a man. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's an incredible movie, you guys.
Oh my gosh. He like he tricks the guy into setting fire to all his money.
Yeah. And again,
Oh my God.
he gets him right where it hurts because it's again this guy like. It's going back to the idea that this guy is so powerful and rich and has everything, but it's like the one little fly, the one little thing is driving him enough to just collapse his entire empire.
Right.
Because that's it. He doesn't just kill him; he fucks his life. He fucks his life in half.
Yeah, it's some real Othello bullshit. Like, he fucking ruins his life.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Little fly. Jeez, I feel like we've skipped. I'm trying to think of like scenes here and there. Because I know there are some. He almost gets drank an iced tea.
Yeah, and that's when he first
discovers
the bad guy, and he's like trying to attack him, but he's just bouncing ineffectually off of him.
Right. He
And
needs those goggles.
Then he ups his fly murder game.
Yeah, he gets the goggles because of
the
fly
spray.
repellent. Yeah. And that's all it takes is the goggles. Like the first attack, he gets the fly repellent, and he has to like recover from that.
He almost dies, but like he falls outside, and as Bindu's leaving the bad guy's house, she trips over a hose that turns on the sprinkler, and it washes all the poison off of him.
She saves him.
She saves him accidentally, but she does. Yeah. She saves that little fly, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of...
What's some other insane bullshit that happens?
I don't know. I was expecting a spider to show up, but there's no spiders.
Yeah, he lands in a spider web at one point.
Yeah, and I thought, oh shit, there's going to be a spider.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bird attacks. There's 3 bird attacks.
Yeah.
There's 1 at the beginning and the 2 at the end. That shaman, holy shit.
Yeah, we can't stress enough, this shaman doesn't show up until like an hour and 40 minutes into this movie.
And when he first comes to the bad guy, he's like, he says something like, when your face is covered in ash.
He shows up at the junkyard.
Yeah, and he's just like, you will want my services. And then later he finally, when he accidentally burns all his money, he goes back to the shaman. Mm-hmm. Who, I don't know what that shaman's business is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He can't like make a living doing that. Like that seems
no. And like, does he know? Did the shaman have some sort of magic, like a crystal ball that like told him somewhere there's a fly attacking a man?
There's a fly really seriously fucking with some guy.
Yeah, and he got his little suitcase and he drove to the city and he found the guy and he was like, "Hey, I can help you." That's the only way he's making money, doing this shaman stuff. Because he wasn't like just like the friend of the guy. Like he goes out of his way to approach him.
Unknown character at this point.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Just wanders into the movie.
It's a lot of a lot of weird side characters.
Yeah.
I mean, they needed the shaman. Well, that's what's funny is that the fly had gotten so powerful that they needed a shaman to step in and help him.
Yeah,
like
again, I thought actual wizard.
Yeah, I thought the struggle was just going to be you're a fly, so naturally you have to dodge a lot of shit and the world is dangerous. But he gets pretty good at being a fly.
Mm-hmm. He's nailing it.
Yeah, he chases him on the highway when he crashes the car. He basically like gets shooed out the window. Or no, he blows cigarette smoke on the fly and he goes out the window on the highway. And I love this whole sequence because this is like a romantic comedy. The bad guy is just trying to go on a business trip with the lady. I forgot. Bindu, thank you. And so like the fly is just trying to stop him because he knows he's a murderer. Mm-hmm. So he just like causes a traffic jam. He like causes a traffic cop to wave his hands to cause a jam. And so the guy like gets one of his like thugs' cars. Mm-hmm. And he's in that car and he sees the fly and he gets him to go out the window, and then there's like cops going by or an ambulance, so he like clings onto that, and as it passes the car he goes into the radiator or into the grill and like snakes through the car and comes out the AC, and that's how he crashes the fucking car.
Yeah,
it's a whole
fucking eye.
It's a whole like he's riding on the top of this ambulance as it's like starting to go by, and that was the moment I was like, this movie is fucking great, because like I'm watching a car chase with a little fly on the top,
with a tiny fly.
Yeah,
holy shit, you guys, this movie
is something else.
Yeah, we can't stress enough. Go watch it right now.
Yeah, like if any of this is appealing to you, you kind of have to watch this, right? You kind of have to watch this. I think what took it to the next level is we're finding these like callbacks and these payoffs and like an overall theme Like they knew, okay, we want to have it be a fly killing a man. Let's make the man rich, and let's add this like inequality like layer to it. Like they thought it out. Like they weren't just like, oh, this is fun and ironic, right? Like it's a fly. They like made a real story out of it. Like they cared. Like they set stuff up and paid stuff off. There's like character arcs and shit.
Yeah, like this movie, they wrote this movie more than they needed to.
Yeah, way more. Again, yeah, this movie could have easily been an hour and a half long, and he could have been a fly in the first 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. But instead, it takes like a half hour for him to become a fly.
It takes a long time for the fly stuff to come in.
Yeah. Fucking Eega.
Man.
Definitely look up Eega, because I did movie where guys like I forgot what the name of this was, and I googled movie where guy becomes a fly, and there's really only one movie that Google says. And it's like, all right,
yeah.
This is their version of The Fly, and,
sort of.
Yeah. No, I just mean in the sense that it's a movie called The Fly.
Yeah,
and they went in a different direction.
Yeah, they took the story at a different place. They explored different avenues.
Like, what if a man became a fly? Well, that would be awesome, right? That would be just the best thing ever.
Sweet.
Yeah. He'd kick a lot of ass.
Yeah, he'd fuck people up.
Yeah. Little fucking fly.
That fly's legit.
Holy cow.
Yeah, this movie. Good God almighty.
Yeah, Andrew McGuire, who suggested this, or didn't suggest, just told us to watch it. Thank you for bringing this into my life.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
There was like 3 or 4 different times while I was watching this movie where I just texted you and was just like, holy shit, this movie, Dave.
Yeah, holy shit.
My God.
We were watching it more or less at the same time. I think you were a little ahead. And so that was funny because like when the second text that was just holy shit, this movie, I was like, oh, what's coming? And that's when they team up to do the fly montage where he's lifting weights.
Where he's lifting
and I was like, holy
weights.
shit. There's multiple montages in this, but there's a fly training montage.
Yeah.
There's a fly
Just imagine
training.
any of the Rocky montages with a fly.
With a fly.
And that's it. That's the montage.
Yeah, and somehow this movie is also like horribly violent and like kind of serious. Like it's silly. Like
this film is a real conundrum.
It knows it's funny. Like it knows it's funny, obviously.
Yeah, you don't make
but it has this right amount of like it's this perfect amount where it's not a Sharknado. Where it's not like look how crazy this is and wacky, we're so random, and it's like shut the fuck up, you're trying too hard. It feels like when you're watching this movie there are times where you feel like you're kind of laughing at it, but you know you're not. You know you're laughing with it. You know the movie knows it's funny.
Yes.
And that it's ridiculous. But it never like winks too much at the audience. Which is weird because it ends with a fly dance sequence, but like there's certain like batshit aspects of it, like the fact that it's bookend by a guy telling a bedtime story. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean?
What is this?
Yeah,
what's happening?
That's crazy, and I don't know if you know that's crazy. You know, like I don't know if the movie realizes that that's insane.
Yeah, it's very insane.
Yeah. God damn it. I'm invigorated. This is what every movie should be like.
Yes.
Like, if you're gonna make crazy big blockbusters with CGI, do shit like this. Like,
oh, man,
we don't need more Star Wars.
No, just make the Eega cinematic universe.
Yeah, take all that money and put it into the Eega. Sequels.
Oh my God.
I want this is John Wick with a fly.
Kind of.
Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. It's like they should make more of these where it's a little fly just torturing people in creative ways.
Yes.
Just John Wick.
I completely support this. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I wonder if there's a sequel. I haven't looked to see if there's a sequel. For all I know, there might be 5 more of these. You don't okay.
Right. I didn't see one when I looked it up, but
yeah, that's true.
Who among us can say?
Yep. Whew.
This movie.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got.
Yeah,
Guys, watch it immediately.
yeah. Go watch it, guys.
I'm trying to think. She takes a little fly out for coffee.
She takes the fly out for coffee.
She takes the fly out for coffee, you guys.
She goes on dates with the fly.
She goes on a date with the fly.
That's
she
the thing is
marries the fly.
She is unapologetically in love with the fly, which again is like it could be symbolism about class and stuff like that. Because like he's like this little, he's like doing what he can for her, and she doesn't care. She doesn't care who she is. She just loves him. She doesn't care who knows it. She loves this fucking fly.
Yes.
She's going to go out in public. That's the part where the waiter is like, "Oh, there's a fly in your coffee," and she's like, "Oh no, the fly's drinking the coffee." And like,
no, the fly is having coffee.
yeah, she's like, shoos the waiter away. Like she's like, "Yeah, it's my fucking fly. I'm fucking this fly." Everybody have a problem with
that? I mean, you cluck your tongues all you want. This is love, baby.
Yeah, this fly will fuck you up.
Yeah,
he's
this
killed
fly
a man.
will kill you.
Yeah.
Like at the very end, there's some guy flirting with her on a moped, and he fucking fucks that guy up.
Yeah, he puts a needle like right up to his eye. The fly clearly figured out that his weapon of choice is a needle,
right?
Because it's light enough to carry.
At people's faces with a needle.
Yeah, imagine just for a second of your life, just like really, all right, center yourself and imagine that you right now a fly approached you with a needle. Like holding a needle and just got right in your face. What would you even do? You would have to reassess everything you know about the universe.
Yes, that would change your entire. You're changed now. Your life is different.
Yeah, forever and ever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, this movie. Watch it immediately.
Yeah, go watch this movie.
What do we got? I mean, that's a so.
It's a plug. If you're interested in telling us a movie to watch, we have this tier where you can do that. It's on patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. You can also choose one of our other tiers. We do movie nights with patrons. We have some exclusive podcasts for our Patreon, like Tom and Jeff watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac. We have a mini series right now about Briscoe County Jr.
We do.
So that's for all the month of June. You can check that out if you feel the need to do that. Yeah. tpublic.com/store/gamefullyunemployed. What other shit to plug?
I don't know. We got our Twitch, twitch.tv/gamefully_unemployed. Check that out. We stream shit.
We do a lot.
We do a lot, you guys.
We have a podcast on another network on Unpops called Best Bad Movie. Check that out.
Yeah, best bad movie ever.
Yeah, there's a lot of us going around.
We're spread around.
Yeah, it's like it's not like we're flies.
No. But we're working as hard as that little fly is working.
We're working as hard as that little fly with that needle. This podcast is our needle, and we're poking it right into your fucking head.
Yeah, directly into your flesh.